Now, anyone who's watched any of my replays on our YouTube channel knows that I really like playing the Asashio. To me, it's the ultimate torp boat. Now, granted, you can only strike battleships and carriers with your torpedoes, anyway. But, as you can see, 5.4 kilometer detection radius. And the guns are actually really, for destroyer, pretty good. Granted, you don't want to get into a knife fight with something that has great reload. If you run into a daring or gearing, you don't want to stay close and slug it out. But it's a decent fire starter. It's got pretty good arcs, and the alpha strike of the guns against particularly on already damaged destroyers is pretty good. So anyway, I like that part of the ship. I like the guns. I like the detection range. And I actually really like the deep water torpedoes, the specialized deep water torpedoes for the ship. Because it to me adds another layer of challenge. And as a DD main, though I have played everything, not too much of the CVs since the rework, but hundreds of games in the old stuff. But to this game, my advice when someone is kind of deciding, okay, now I'm going to try DDs, I'm going to see how I can do in DDs, and I think any of the ICOPs that have been on voice chat would attest to the fact that my mantra is basically try to get through the entire game without ever being seen. That's assuming you're in a torpedo boat. Now, obviously, that's an almost impossible thing to accomplish, but if that's the goal, I believe you're probably going to be more of it. So that's my goal when I'm playing a torpedo boat. Now, I did get lit up there for a moment, but given the ranges, I figured I'd probably be okay. As you can see, I took, 1,300 damage. Granted, it's early in the game. You hate to give up any hit points early, but that was my thinking. Okay, so you see, I fired torps across that gap. Almost always on this map, you're going to have capital ships on the C&D line, on the north side, trying to support anything that's south. They've got Asashio, Kiev, and the German DD, which it was E23. And we see Kiev and Asashio there, which to my mind meant probably Z23 on the other side, and they're probably going to try and support him. And it turns out I was able to land one. I did the reload booster, because if I was able to tap anybody with the first strike, and you can see that it flooded, and they had to repair, if I'm able to hit them again, then we've got a long flood time. Now I know somebody's in the cap with me. And I also know that it's probably Z23. The last position marker tells me that he was on that side. They all went on the C cap side of things. So I'm just going to try and angle accordingly. I've got 36 seconds or so to reload torps. And I'm already thinking, okay, now where do I want to make my next torp drop? Goal is to secure the cap, and then I want to try and get more torps in the water with a decent chance of making a strike. So I'm looking at our Friedrich de Grosse moving north into the A cap, and beyond the fact that I'm thinking that's suicidal given the number of red ships up there, I'm deciding that, okay, I can't really torp there because he's there, so maybe I'll... Oh, hey. Yeah. And I was quite surprised to see that guy come around the corner. I just wasn't paying close enough attention. So de Grosse has moved north of where I would need torp. So I'm just going to make sure that Nobody can see me. Planes in the air. Now, that's kind of a wing and a prayer. Massachusetts probably, and already is, in fact, is going to run north, I'm thinking. But if he decides to turn back around and head into the cap, the torps will be there. And lo and behold, I have reason to hope. Okay, so the Enterprise has his torp bombers coming in. He's trying to get the Flint. I don't think he's trying to get me. And he made a great drop. And I was saying to Mossy Jaws, okay, our Flint's going down. And I'm also trying to keep in mind the entire time where Jaws is located. Okay, so we got 3 hits, 2 floods on Massachusetts. Banged him up pretty good. Makes him an easy target for anyone else, and as it turns out, he flooded out. So I kind of lucked out there that he pushed south like that, and I happened to be really close. So now it's just, can I take advantage of the Flint smoke to make it a little harder for the red ship that's focusing on me to hit me? And let's take a look around, since I've got 20 seconds for more torps, and decide where I might be able to make good use of them. Okay, so we've got Amagi and Rune crossing onto the east side of that island there, Charlie 5, and so I'm taking a look at the other side of the map now. Got Masashi and Ganaisanao. Ganaisanao is in big trouble. He's pretty banged up. Yeah, I know, maybe not a smart choice, but I thought, my AA can probably handle these fighters that have been dropped here, and given the range, and then lo and behold, the Z-23 pops up. So I just decide discretion's a better part of valor. I'm not going to engage, not with Neptune so close. I'll just back off, get out of spotting distance. Use the torp reload booster because I do have 2 battleships that are going to be crossing there, and just throw some predictive torps out there. Now, if Masashi turns in, if Ganaisanao turns in, it's increasingly unlikely with range on the torpedoes that any of them will strike them on the nose, but if they keep sailing the direction that they're sailing now, I have a decent chance of striking. So I went ahead and threw them out, and I just fell back from Neptune. So we've got the Charlie cap, we've got people in position on the A cap. All their DDs seem to be on the east side of the map, so I figure I might as well try and help out at Alpha. So at this point, Jaws and I have been talking. He's falling back, trying to heal up. He's trying to get some hit points back. You can see there on the upper left of the screen, he took a beating. A lot of red ships there, and I think he got focused pretty hard. So you can see all my torps out there. I have to hope that maybe some of them were not detected by Neptune. I'm going to have cover here in just a second, so I went ahead and opened up on Neptune. His guns rained away. So they finally got a cap. Yep, I did land one. And, we've got ourselves a game. Both teams are down 3 ships. And we've only got a, 25-point lead. And I'm always thinking to myself, where can I make the best use of the qualities of the ship I'm in? And in this ship, as I was mentioning a few minutes ago, at least in my opinion, it's all about trying to remain unseen, trying to strike from angles that the enemy team may not expect. Now, obviously somebody's got Neptune radared, so I'm going to go ahead and add my paltry little potential damage there and see if I can't hit him. If I were a better shot, I might have landed some of that first volley, but the reality is at range, that kind of range, even with these guns, which I consider pretty good for destroyer shells, it's not easy to land the shells with somebody who's moving little. But I went ahead and fired another blind fire volley just because it did not appear to me that there was any chance any of the red team would spot me. Okay, so now I see Gneisenau is pushing in through that gap. Now, whether he will continue to do so remains to be seen. But I can spot him and I can ping him and I can say, hey guys, look at this guy. Just in the event that maybe they're not watching. Now, okay, why did you fire there? Well, I fired there because his guns are pointed an entirely different direction, and I don't see anybody with their guns pointed my way. So in the next 3 seconds, we should be able to secure the cab well ahead of any of them being able to get guns on me. So I see him turning, and he's going to try and get guns on me, so I can fix that with smoke. So that's exactly what I did. And now I'll just see if I can add more fires. And what do you know? One of those torps back there connected. So that's 6 torpedo hits. We're about 10 minutes in, about 95,000 damage. And there's still a lot of game left to play. So again, going back to my mantra, just trying to remain unseen, do what I can, spot the enemy, and consistently look for angles from which to throw torpedoes that maybe people won't expect. And you can see the Jaws is moving north again. You can see that his hit points are much restored. He's not quite half, but a lot more hit points than he had a little bit ago. Okay, so the red team has a 2-ship advantage at this point. We have a cap advantage, but we're down on points now. And that, from my perspective, means that I need to be a little bit more aggressive. I need to, for lack of a better term, do what I can to help carry, because we're down. I mean, just looking at the scoreboard and the time remaining and the fact that they're now contesting C, there's reason to really wonder if this isn't going to turn south in a big hurry. So now we're down 6 ships. They're down 3. We are down almost 200 points. So, to my mind, I don't have much choice here but to just kind of take things more head on and try and turn the tide. Now, it's not easy, as anybody who's played a destroyer or even a cruiser with torps, to land torpedoes on the nose of a ship. But I do get lucky there. I have to be careful. I'd like to open up with guns here just to have a shot at getting a fire, but Neptune being right there and New Orleans coming around the corner north of me tell me I have to be exceptionally careful. Okay, so there's a flood, and I'm going to ping. Oh, somebody already got him. So that's one less worry. Now, the CV, and he's nose into an island, so it's going to take him a while to get moving. Now, anybody who plays CV, Curtis, will tell you that I always advise trying to leave more room to run. He did leave a little bit of a gap there, but his maneuverability is going to be limited. His choices of how to get away once spotted are limited because he had an island right in front of him. Knowing that, and I'm just checking, is there any chance I'm going to hit that Gneisenau? My torps are long beyond the Gneisenau now, so I don't have any chance of hitting him. So I just decide, okay, I'm just going to go right at the Enterprise, and sorry about that, it's my cell phone, and see what I can do to bring him to bay. I see that he's turning, likely thinking he's, I got to get back toward my friendlies for cover. So I just moved to intercept. Now he's got planes headed my way. I'm trying here to use the island, keep them from spotting me, but no, they catch me before I can get that far. So I go ahead and turn on the AA since they're already over the top of me. And now my focus is entirely on the CV. The planes, I can't really worry about them. I mean, I may maneuver a little bit, but my goal here, given that we're still down ships and we're still down points and now we're down caps, I'm thinking I've got to get the CB. We really need this. And, Jaws and I are still talking. And at this point, I think I'm saying, okay, I might get him here, so long as he continues running more or less in that direction. And there's always the possibility that you may have a really, really crafty CB captain who will just, maneuver around. Maybe he'll go hard to starboard and just come back. So I'm thinking, well, it looks like he's going to do that. And it'll just be reliant on my guns here to make something happen. But nope. It was just a feint. And he's going back around the island. So I'm just eating some damage from his planes, which fortunately is not too bad. And about this time I'm saying, Jaws, I might get him with 1 or 2 here, and then hopefully we can finish him off with guns. Just 1, 2, and he's got significant damage. And because he'd already repaired, he's continuing to flood. So I'll just keep the guns working. You can see the fire's out, but he's still flooding. At this point I know, okay, I've got him. So now, I've got 20 seconds till the torps are back up. We are up on points. We have turned the ship advantage they had around, and now we're looking pretty good. 3.5 minutes to go, but we're down caps. I'm still under attack from the air. Okay, Masashi is actually out of my range. Amagi out of my range. But I kind of know the directions that they have to go in order to make something happen. And I figure, looking at the Donskoy, which if you're looking at the chat, that guy Shackler, he actually played a really good game, and some of the guys on our team were giving him a hard time because he fell back. But I think he fell back because he realized he was a one-shot kill and he didn't want to give the red team those points. So at this point, okay, definitely I'm in range. Unless they literally just turn and run south, my torps will have the range to catch them. It's just a question of, can I predict where they're going to be? So I'm guessing Masashi is going to slow down. That's just a guess. And that Amagi will continue to push up toward the fight, which is the Donskoy. Now, at this point, Jaws and I are talking about our Massachusetts. You can see he's managed to kill, and I have to admit that I haven't watched the game and done free movement and followed him around and all that. So I don't know whether it was a steal or what, but his positioning throughout the game has been, we'll just say, questionable, at least in my opinion. And now he's taken his guns out of the fight entirely, which is just leaving our Donskoy, who, of course, got beat up because he can't handle an Amagi and a Masashi pushing into him. So, all right. So Amagi, he changed course. He's heading for the Massachusetts, who appears to just be kind of running away. I've got 25 seconds, and I'll have torps back up. So I'm just deciding what are my best options. And I thought I'd finally decide here. Now I can't move south. I've got to come about and just kind of stay in line with the Massachusetts, which I didn't want to do, but I didn't want to get detected. And if Amagi changed his angle and came north to nose into the Massachusetts, he would almost certainly detect me. But nope, he actually is angling away, so I'm just predicting where I think he might go, and I throw the torps out on a wing and a prayer. So we're up on points, but if they take out Massachusetts, who is just sailing broadside, then this game could still turn around. They are about to get into the ACAP. At this point, yeah, we're looking pretty good for sure. And I'm finally looking at how many seconds are left in the game, and yeah, this is looking pretty good. So now Jaws and I were just talking about, you know, what's this guy doing? And then our lightning captain is talking about how I and the Massachusetts cost the game, which didn't make any sense to me. I mean, he looked at the scoreboard, and I didn't get that. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.